Funny thing about love, a woman can adore you, laugh with you, even swear she'll never leave you, and still take you for granted. And the craziest part, most of the time, it's not even intentional. She gets comfortable. She gets used to the good morning texts. The way you show up, no matter how busy you are. The way you forgive her, even when she crosses the line. To her, it feels endless. To her, it feels like you'll always be there. But here's the truth nobody talks about. Consistency can feel invisible until it's gone. The same man she thought was predictable, boring, or too available suddenly becomes the only man she can't get off her mind. The second he pulls away. Because when you stop showing up, everything changes. Silence starts to get loud. She checks her phone, but there's no message from you. She scrolls through her socials, but you're not watching her stories anymore. And in that quiet, a new feeling creeps in. Panic. That's when she starts to realize the weight of your absence. That's when she starts to miss the man she thought she could live without. 1. Comfort turns into complacency. In the beginning, she feels safe. She knows you'll be there when she calls. She knows you'll reply to her texts no matter the hour. She knows if she gets upset, you'll apologize first, even when it wasn't your fault. That level of comfort feels good to her. It feels secure. But here's the paradox. Human beings rarely value what feels guaranteed. The very consistency that should make her appreciate you becomes the reason she starts taking you for granted. At first, it's subtle. She doesn't say thank you as often. She cancels plans, assuming you'll understand. She snaps at you during a mood swing, knowing you'll let it slide. She's not thinking, I don't care about him. She's thinking, he'll never leave. And that's where complacency creeps in. She starts treating your effort as background noise instead of a gift. She convinces herself that your patience is weakness, that your forgiveness means she can push boundaries endlessly. Slowly, she forgets that love requires respect and begins to test how far she can go without losing you. What she doesn't realize is this. Every time she overlooks your effort, she's building the conditions for regret. Because one day that comfort she abused won't be there. And it's in that moment of absence that she'll finally see how much she underestimated you. 2. Silence speaks louder than words. The real shift doesn't happen when you argue or when you tell her she's taking you for granted. Words are easy to dismiss. What changes everything is silence. The moment you stop pouring your energy into her without return, the atmosphere shifts. No more good morning texts, no more random, just checking on you calls. No more updates about what you're doing or where you're going. And here's the thing, silence isn't emptiness. It's presence in another form. It's the loudest statement you can make without saying a word. At first, she brushes it off. Maybe he's busy. Maybe he just forgot. But when the silence stretches longer, it begins to disrupt her expectations. The rhythm she got used to, the steady stream of attention and reassurance, is broken. Suddenly, her phone feels too quiet. Now she's scrolling through her notifications, wondering why your name isn't there. She posts on social media and catches herself checking if you viewed it. She starts asking subtle questions, maybe even dropping hints to mutual friends. That absence doesn't just leave a gap, it plants anxiety. What's he doing without me? Why isn't he reaching out? Has someone else taken my place? Silence forces her into self-reflection in a way your words never could. Because when a man who was once always available suddenly isn't, it creates a vacuum. And in that vacuum, her mind does the work for you. It replays everything she overlooked, every moment she dismissed, every sign of your devotion she ignored. Silence makes her feel something she thought she'd never feel with you, the fear of losing you. 3. The mirror effect. When your presence is constant, she doesn't have to think too much about her own behavior. She laughs, she complains, she vents, and she knows you'll absorb it. But when you step back, When you stop giving her that steady stream of attention, something powerful happens. It's like you're holding up a mirror without even trying. For the first time, she sees herself clearly, without your messages filling her day, without your reassurance smoothing over her moods. She's left alone with her actions. And now the questions she never asked before begin to surface. Was I too harsh when he was just trying to love me? Did I dismiss his effort because I thought he'd never leave? Did I mistake his patience for weakness? This reflection is uncomfortable because it forces her to recognize the gap between how she treated you and how you deserve to be treated. And the longer your silence continues, the sharper that mirror becomes. Suddenly, every memory of your kindness stands out in contrast to her lack of appreciation. Every overlooked gesture starts to feel like a mistake on her part. The mirror effect isn't about guilt, it's about clarity. It's about her realizing that she didn't just lose a man. She lost the version of herself that was loved, cared for, and prioritized by someone rare. That realization is what flips the script. Instead of you chasing her, she begins to chase the version of you she ignored. Fourth, social curiosity becomes jealousy. When you were always available, she never had to wonder. She knew where your attention was, on her. But the second you pull back, that certainty disappears. And uncertainty is a seed that grows fast. At first, it starts with curiosity. She notices you haven't texted. She wonders what you're doing. She scrolls through her phone at night, tempted to check if you liked her post, if you viewed her story. It seems innocent, but it's not. Because curiosity, unchecked, always evolves into jealousy. Now her mind starts running wild. If he's not talking to me, who is he talking to? Why hasn't he checked my story? Did he block me? Or is he busy watching someone else's? Is another woman enjoying the attention I thought would always belong to me? That's the cruel trick of human psychology. The moment we think something we had is being enjoyed by someone else, it becomes 10 times more valuable. Suddenly, the attention she once dismissed now feels like gold slipping through her fingers. The same man she overlooked has become a mystery, unreachable, unpredictable, and maybe, just maybe, desired by others. And that's where jealousy takes root. It doesn't matter if you're actually with someone new or simply focused on yourself. In her mind, you've shifted from predictable to rare, from always there to hard to reach. And nothing triggers desire like scarcity. Her curiosity isn't just about you anymore. It's about protecting what she suddenly fears she's lost. 5. Nostalgia hits hard. Here's the thing about memory. It doesn't play fair. It doesn't remind her of the arguments, the times she rolled her eyes, or the moments she took you for granted. Number memory has a habit of polishing the past, making even the simplest moments shine brighter once they're gone. And so when your silence lingers long enough, nostalgia sneaks in. She starts remembering the little things, the way you looked at her when she was laughing, like she was the only person in the room. The small details you noticed, how she took her coffee, the songs she loved, the little compliments that seemed random, but always landed perfectly. The comfort of knowing someone had her back, even on the days when she wasn't easy to love. Back then, she thought those moments were ordinary. Now they feel priceless. And it's in that comparison between the reality of her present and the sweetness of the past that the regret deepens. Because when she's out with someone new and he forgets the details you never missed, her mind drifts back to you. When she feels alone and there's no message lighting up her phone, she remembers how yours always did. Nostalgia turns the past into a highlight reel, replaying everything she once had but didn't value. And the more she remembers, the more the silence hurts. Because it's not just you she misses, it's the version of herself that existed when you were around. The version that felt seen, cared for, and deeply wanted. And that's when it hits her hardest. She didn't just lose you. She lost a time in her life that no one else can give back. 6. The emotional reversal. Up until now, she's been living in the illusion of control. She thought you'd always be there. She thought your patience meant permanence. She thought your love was something she could bend, stretch, and test without breaking. But then the silence sets in. The curiosity grows. The jealousy stings. The nostalgia plays like a highlight reel in her mind. And finally, something shifts. The script flips. The man she once overlooked suddenly becomes the man she can't stop thinking about. Not because you changed anything, not because you begged, explained, or tried harder, but because you did the one thing she never expected. You stopped showing up. And now the emotions reverse. Where she once felt secure, she now feels uncertainty. Where she once felt indifference, she now feels desire. Where she once thought she could live without you, she now feels the hollow ache of absence. Her thoughts start looping, almost obsessively. Was I too blind to see what I had? Did I push him too far away? What if I ruined the only real thing I'll ever get? And here's the beauty of it. Attraction doesn't thrive on what's abundant. It thrives on what's scarce. You became scarce. You became rare. You became the man who is no longer guaranteed. And in her world, that makes you infinitely more valuable than you ever were when you were available on demand. This is the emotional reversal, the point where her feelings toward you completely invert. The patience she once mistook for weakness now looks like strength. The consistency she once found boring now feels like loyalty she can't find anywhere else. The man she took for granted now feels like the one who got away. And here's the kicker. This isn't just about missing you. It's about craving the stability, the comfort, the devotion she once dismissed. Because the truth is, other men don't measure up. They might bring excitement, but not security. They might bring attention, but not intention. They might bring words, but not action. That's when she starts replaying your face in her mind when she's lying in bed at night. That's when she starts comparing every new conversation to the way you listen. That's when she starts catching herself scrolling through old photos, wondering if she'll ever feel that way again. And the painful reality for her is this: she probably won't. Because once a man transforms from predictable to rare, he doesn't go back. Once he stops chasing, he stops proving. And once he chooses silence, his absence speaks more powerfully than her presence ever could. That's when the emotional reversal is complete. The hunter becomes the haunted. The man she dismissed becomes the man she desires. And the weight of her regret becomes heavier than the comfort she once felt. This one had to be longer because this is the climax of the whole cycle, the turning point where she starts to feel the burn of her own choices. 7. Regret creeps. Regret doesn't crash in all at once. It creeps in slowly, like a shadow she can't shake. At first, it's just a passing thought. She hears a song you once played for her, and for a moment, she smiles, then frowns. She walks past a restaurant you took her to, and suddenly dinner with someone else doesn't taste the same. But over time, those little reminders build up. They start piling on top of each other until she can't escape the truth. She lets something rare slip through her fingers. Regret is the cruelest teacher because it doesn't show up until it's too late. It whispers in her ear at night when she's scrolling through her phone, fighting the urge to type your name. It plays in her head when she compares every new man to you and none of them measure up. It gnaws at her pride when she realizes she has to sit in silence because reaching out would mean admitting what she once denied. You were the one who mattered. And here's what makes regret hit hardest. She can't undo it. She can't take back the times she dismissed your love. She can't erase the moments she acted like your effort didn't matter. She can't rewind to the days when you were still willing to give her your all. Now she has to live with the awareness that another woman, someone wiser, someone who won't take you for granted, because here's the ultimate truth. Regret doesn't just remind her of what she lost. It reminds her of who she was when she had it. She was the woman who was cared for, who was protected, who was deeply valued. And now without you, she's forced to confront the emptiness that her pride created. The cycle is complete. Comfort turned to complacency. Silence disrupted her world. The mirror forced her to face herself. Curiosity turned into jealousy. Nostalgia hit her heart. Emotions reversed. And now regret sets in like a weight she can't shake off. And here's the lesson most men don't realize until it's too late. You don't have to scream, beg, or argue to be valued. You don't have to prove your worth to someone who refuses to see it. The most powerful move you can ever make is to step back, to protect your energy, to let silence do the talking. Because when you finally stop chasing, she starts reflecting. When you stop giving without return, she starts noticing the void. And when you walk away with dignity, she starts to miss the man she thought she could live without. But here's the truth you need to carry with you. Her regret is not your responsibility. You don't level up just so she can finally respect you. You move on because you deserve reciprocity, respect, and peace. So if you're in that place right now feeling undervalued, remember this: your silence, your boundaries, your absence, it all has more power than any words could ever hold. And eventually, the same woman who once thought she could do better will realize the truth. Men like you don't come twice. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever walked away and watched someone realize what they lost? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next lesson on power, relationships, and self-mastery. And if this video gave you value, share it. Because the truth is simple. Men who understand their worth change the game, not just for themselves, but for every man watching.